morning, everybody. Just getting our week started here. This morning, I am headed down to Baltimore, going to the port. We're picking up a Kobelco excavator, and we are taking that out to Monroe, Ohio, which is out near Cincinnati. That should be a pretty good run. You have to excuse my voice. I'm still dealing with a little bit of a cold. Took the last 2 days of last week off because I was sick. So yeah, we're picking up a Kobelco. I think it's a 230. I don't know, 55,000 pound range. So I got a comment on the last video, and he said maybe you could share how you learned to drive all this equipment. And really, you know, I really had no experience driving excavators or bulldozers or anything else before I started doing this. I had a little bit of experience driving a forklift, and I was in the Navy. I was with CB Battalion, or CB team, and we used equipment, so they would let me, you know, I drove boats and forklifts, drove telehandler before, and trucks, but never never heavy equipment like that. But I'm pretty confident in driving just about anything. Pretty good at that. So when I got my first RGM, my little 30-ton, you know, when I had to go pick up an excavator and I had to load it, I just jumped in it and figured it out. And that's pretty much been my philosophy the whole time. You know, you be careful, but they're not hard to drive. You know, the controls are pretty basic, pretty easy to figure out, so it didn't take me long to get the hang of it. Now, getting it loaded on the trailer the correct way, so it is it's straight and where you want it the first time, that takes a little practice. But you learn little tricks along the way. Like when you're loading an excavator, if you watch the inside of the tracks and then you line that up with the boards on your trailer, if you get, you know, if you're, you know, one board in or 1.5 boards in one track, then you want the other side to be exactly that. And if you do that, then it's perfectly centered. So tracked equipment is pretty easy like that. The one thing that still gives me trouble is wheel loaders. Anything, wheel loaders or like rock trucks, anything articulated in the middle, it never turns the way you want it to, and then when you have to correct it, you end up just kind of going back and forth in a curve. So that can be a pain sometimes. But yeah, as far as like having training on how to drive stuff, no, just on the job training, just me loading stuff up. All right, well, we got about 100 miles down to Baltimore. So we'll cruise down there, and then checking into Mid-Atlantic Terminal. We'll get that Kobelco excavator loaded up, and then as far as the route today, we'll be going back around Baltimore on 695, hitting 70. We'll run 70 across to 68. We'll run 68 all the way through Maryland, across West Virginia to 79. 79 back up into Pennsylvania, it's 70, and then we'll take 70 west. I don't know if we will drop down 71 there south of Columbus, or if we will go all the way around Columbus and hit 675. It looks like 675 would be the easier way to go, so we might do that. Depends on what they give us in the permit offices too. So all right, well, you guys enjoy the ride, and we'll head down to Baltimore and get this picked up. All right, guys, we made it down here to the port. We're just heading back here to Mid-Atlantic Terminal. Once we get back here, I will park, and then I'll walk up to the building and get checked in. And then we'll have to go find this excavator and get her loaded up. Oh, they look busy. So it may take a little while to get checked in. Could just be residual from guys here early this morning too. Doesn't look like there's a line coming out of the building or anything, so we may be all right. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a huge line, so we just got to find a parking spot. If there is one, might have to do some walking this morning. Where are all these guys? Is that guy leaving? You're not leaving? I don't know what's going on this morning. Maybe they don't like people parking along the side there. So we'll just go up and park in this row. And we'll do some walking. Alright, so I'll see you guys after I get checked in. I'm back out here to go get the go find the excavator. Alright, so I got checked in. Took a while because the computers were down. So we were just standing there waiting for those to come back up, but they did. So we got checked in. We have to go to row F number 16 and find this excavator and get loaded up. So let's go find it. So we're here at row F. I'm gonna get out and we'll go find this excavator, make sure it's the right number. All right, this is our beast. Take a look at it, make sure there's no damage. Everything looks good. So let's see if we can get her fired up and over to the truck. There we go. I think we will leave it here until we're actually loading. We're gonna leave it sit here, and then I can go get the truck and trailer broke apart, and then we'll run it up on there. Alright guys, I'm going to try to give you a driver's view as I load this, and you can watch on the outside from the other camera. When I load these, I like to put the drive motors towards the back of the trailer. You can see that track there, there's nothing there. On the other end of the track, there is a drive motor. So that's where all the weight is on these. So I try to get that towards the back of the trailer. That means we're going to have to angle off this way and then spin the cab around. Put that up out of the way. Come around this way. And then we will spin this. Now you can see the difference down there. I don't know if you can see it from here. I'll show it to you then later. But those are the drive motors down there at that end. So now our controls are going to be backwards. So that means we pull back on these sticks to control the track. So we pull back and we actually go forward now. find that the bigger excavators actually, they're a little easier to control because they have more weight to them and they're less twitchy. The smaller ones, any little movement kind of makes them twitch. The big ones, they don't do that so much. It's a lot smoother. So you can actually control it with one hand when you're driving it. So now when I do this, I try to look at the inside of the tracks here. And if you can get those even across the loading ramps there, and even on the lines on those boards, that will get you perfectly straight when you're on the trailer. I also like to get this up to the point where it's just about to start tipping, so probably right about there. And then if you put your boom down, nice and easy, that extra weight on the front, it might not be far enough forward. There it goes. That extra weight on the front just tips it over and you get nice and easy onto the trailer. So that's the way I like to do it. Now I'm going to jump out and switch the outside. All right. So I'll continue moving this onto the trailer. Trying to keep it straight. I think we're pretty good. Now, I want to tuck that arm all the way back. So normally if there was a bucket on that, this would be curling the bucket. So I like to put that all the way in. And then when we put it down, try to get the arm into that boom trough back there. And I'm trying to get the weight of that arm maybe this way just a touch. Trying to put the weight of that arm on the second cross member there on the trailer. There we go. And I am pretty confident that that's going to be just about spot on. So I'm going to shut it off. Follow you. We'll see how close I get. Alright, so what do you guys think? Did I get it good? I think that looks pretty good. We're at 10.6 wide. Now let's get her chained in. Alright guys, we got her all tied down, banners are on, lights are flashing, we are about ready to roll. Well, we got to the mandatory brake stop here in West Virginia on top of the mountain. So we ended up booking a hotel in Zanesville, Ohio. It's a roadway we've stayed at before, so we know it. They have truck parking there. So we booked that. Stay there tonight. We have about 160 miles to go to get there. And then that'll leave us with right around 160 miles to get to delivery tomorrow. So that should be fine. Or I might be able to get some video editing done because I picked up a laptop to let me edit while I'm on the road. So that'll be pretty nice. You know, before I'd have to film everything, and then when I got home on the weekend, I would spend all weekend, you know, editing videos, getting them posted. So hopefully this way, you know, I can do an hour or two at night on the road. I don't have anything else to do. And maybe I can spend a little more time on the videos and do a little better editing job. Maybe get a little better quality for you guys. So now we'll head down the hill and then back up into Pennsylvania on 79. Hit 70 again. It is now about 6:25. We are in Ohio, still on I-70. So coming across 70 in Pennsylvania, actually West Virginia. There's a bad accident on the eastbound side. They had a fire truck in the left lane of the westbound, so that cost some time. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It looked like a flatbed carrying, I don't know if they were steel or aluminum rails, but a truck looked like a truck rear-ended him. And pretty much took the cab of the truck that rear-ended him off. So, pretty bad accident. But anyway, that took some time. So we'll be about, I don't know, 7:30 or so getting to the hotel. A little later than I wanted to be done tonight, but that's okay. So we have 47 miles to get to the hotel. I actually had to alter the route a little bit because the exit where the hotel is, there's a bridge, an overpass that goes across 70, and apparently we're not allowed on that bridge, so we're having to get off a couple miles east of the hotel on I-40 or US 40 and take that west over to the hotel. The hotel sits right on 40. Then in the morning, instead of going across the overpass and get back on the 70 westbound, we're going to have to stick with 40 and go down the road a few miles to get back on the 70, which is not a big deal. They run almost parallel there. But because of our weight, we're like, I don't know, around 103,000 pounds. They don't want us on that bridge. Alright, well, almost done here today. We'll finish up these last 46 miles or so, and I will talk to you guys when we get to the hotel. Alright guys, made it here to the roadway in Zanesville, Ohio. I'm gonna go get checked in, settle in for the night, and then we'll be back up in the morning and I will head over to Monroe. We got, I think it's about 160 miles. Yeah, should be there around, I don't know, 9:30 or so, get this delivered. And then hopefully we can find another load, keep us busy this week, and make some money. So I will see you guys in the morning.
that is that excavator delivered. We are all done with that load. We will move on to the next one. We're here at an airport outside of Columbus, Ohio. We are picking up a mobile conveyor and taking it down to North Carolina. So let's get this thing loaded up. Yeah. Well, it's gonna have to come back more. It's gotta clear this. That's where the neck goes. It's gotta clear. The neck has to clear back to here. You can see where the neck sits on there. So I don't know. Yeah. Can that come up? I mean, those things are gonna hit.
If I go up any higher, it might not clear height-wise.
Yeah.
I can try to go up a little bit.
Okay.
Then we can put
Yeah, I mean,
blocks underneath there if we can.
Yeah.
That's alright.
Yep. That's probably good. I think if we
Like that,
can,
and then we can try to set it down.
if we can get it as far back as we need it, then we can figure out how to block it or whatever we want to do. All right, that's probably good. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be all right.
Yeah.
And all kinds of other stuff blowing off of this thing. It's so windy. So I'm gonna put some air to this, get it all aired up, and I'll get my height stick out and see if we need to permit for height on this one. We need to permit for height on this one. It's not that heavy, it's like 50,000 pounds. And it's 9.6 wide. You can see it's over the side a little bit, but the height is what has me concerned. So I need to get my height stick out, and then we'll take some measurements on this. Alright, so I put the height stick on it, and we are at 1311 at the highest point. Legal height is 13.6. So I'll let Jen know. She's gonna let the broker know. We were told this thing was 11 feet high. It is definitely not. So it's just light. So it doesn't take the bow out of the trailer, which puts it up a little higher. Alright, so I thought I could get the height down a little bit by lowering the suspension on the trailer and dropping the ride height in the front. But I only put it down by 2 inches. Took it from 13.11 to 13.9. And the trailer was really low, so I think I'm just gonna run it like this. We'll just do it at 13.11 and it should be fine. So now I need to get it chained down. Happy with that. So the back ones, I got hooks into this steel plate. We'll onto the trailer. And then I hooked from a D-ring here over and back to the trailer. And then on the front one, I went around this big box section and pulling to the front. So that's 6 half-inch chains, plenty for the weight. And then it should ride just like that. So now we just gotta get some flags on it. And then we're good to go. Alright guys, we got this one all loaded up. It is a big old conveyor belt. So I'll get some paperwork done and then we will hit the road. Alright guys, we're just leaving a rest area here in southern Ohio. Not sure exactly where we are. Close to Lucasville, Ohio. So when we get to Lucasville, we're actually getting off of 23 onto 823 and starting to make our way over toward West Virginia. I took the camera off of the conveyor back there because it looks like we're going to get some rain. And while the GoPro is supposed to be fine with that, I don't like to chance it. So if it's going to be pouring down rain and it's getting soaked, I'd rather have it in the cab. So we'll just finish up the day with you guys riding along with me in the truck. We're doing well so far. One thing, so they have like a remote control for this that's connected with the cable to the machine that you control movement and everything with. And they just kind of like use a little piece of metal to tie the cables, and then he just sat it on the top of the machine, and they have a little cover under there. Well, because the cover was a little propped up, because that remote control was under there, the cover flipped up. I don't know if it broke anything or not. I didn't even know the thing was there. So I undid that and just sat it down inside the well of the trailer, trying to keep it out of the way and getting damaged. You'd think they'd have a place to put that, but they did not. So fixed that. Other than that, all the chains are staying tight. The thing rides well. It's not real heavy, so yeah, we'll just keep on making our way down here through Ohio and West Virginia. You guys can enjoy riding along. Missed my turn there for 823 before Lucasville, so I had to get turned around in a business down there. I'm sure they were real happy about that, but didn't have many options. But we got turned around, back up. Now we're on 823. I'll take this over to 52. I think we're looking at a hotel in Beckley, West Virginia. There's a microtel not far off the highway. So if they'll let us park there in their parking lot, then we will be set for tonight. Until then, we'll just keep on
trucking here.
Alright guys, we have made it here to the Microtel by Wyndham. That's where I'm going to stay for the night. I'll be back at it in the morning, get up at 6 and head out. And we will get down to Chapel Hill and get this delivered. So I will talk to you guys in the morning. Good morning everybody. It is Wednesday morning. We are here at the Microtel in Beckley, West Virginia, and I am just waiting for the sun to come up. So sunrise at 6:31 is when we can get started, and then we will finish out our journey down to Chapel Hill, North Carolina to get this conveyor delivered. So it is rainy this morning, so we'll start inside the truck today. I think it's going to be sunny down towards North Carolina, so I'll try to find a spot for you guys up on the load, get a little view for you. And yeah, that's the plan for this morning. I think we're about it's about 230 miles, so probably about 4 hours or 4.5, and we'll be down there before lunch. So you guys enjoy the ride and we'll go get this done. Made it down to North Carolina. Came down the mountain on 77. I'll wait and let this guy get past. Anyway, made it down the mountain, I-77, down in North Carolina. We have about 115 miles to go. So it is still raining. Guys are gonna have to stick it out with me here in the cab. Anyway, that's where we're at. A couple hours to go, and we're still looking for our next load. Hopefully we can something on post, or we can grab something. It was a load. It was like a service truck going up to Brewster, New York, which it's not really paying what it should, but we may end up taking that just so we can get something and get back home. So we'll see what happens. Alright guys, we are just pulling up here. I believe that's where I'm going, right there. Looks like a big place, should be anything. So we actually did end up getting a load. We have a load out of Lumberton, North Carolina, going up to the port in Baltimore. So it is a Cat excavator. I think it's a 323. So once we get this conveyor delivered, then I will be heading down to Lumberton, or up to, I didn't look at the map yet, wherever Lumberton is, that's where I'll be going. So we'll pick that up, and then I'll get as far as I can tonight, and then get that delivered to Baltimore. Hey, maybe we can grab something out of the port going up towards the house. I know Keene, the one yard I go to, they used to ship all kinds of stuff out of Baltimore. There was always freight out of Baltimore going up to Carlisle, and that kind of dried up, and it's been dead for a while now. I don't know. They did have a little Volvo excavator going to Shippensburg
which we would have done, but they want it delivered tomorrow. So we couldn't pick it up until tomorrow. So that can put the kibosh on that. Assuming this is where I'm going. Looks like the right place. In here and try to find somebody. The guy we talked to said he's not going to be here, but there should be somebody here who can help me unload, which is good because the guy yesterday did not show me how to operate it. But we'll get it figured out. Now, where they want this, so I'm just going to pull off right here. I'm thinking I want it up there.
Well, you already got everything done. That's probably from sticking it under that cover. Alright, so we're dealing with a broken remote control. One of the switches broke off, so we're trying to jump it right now with a screwdriver to get it to work. Alright, so this is what we're dealing with. That switch is broken. So we pulled the wires off. We're gonna get a little jumper wire, and we're gonna make a jumper, and then he's gonna control one track and I'll control the other, and we'll walk the thing off. Should be fun. Hopefully you guys saw most of that. It was a little bit of a dance there, me controlling one track and him controlling the other. So, but we got the thing off and turned around and parked here. So hopefully they're happy with that. Yeah, that's the culprit. So we got a bad switch here. The stick broke off of that. So we just used a jumper wire I'm glad he was here because I don't know if I'd have been able to figure out. I mean, I guess I would have. It's just a switch, but still, glad he was here to help and we were able to get it off. Did do a little damage to the deck of the trailer and some scrapes in the paint, but it did chew up the steel here a little bit. You can see. But nothing real bad. Oh, I did get my grouser bar here. Gosh. So steel on steel and almost 50,000 pounds. That will cause that. I might want to do something about that before I put the neck back on. Alright guys, we are all done with that load. You can see things can go wrong in a hurry. Luckily we had somebody here to help us out and we got that switch figured out, got the thing unloaded. So that's that one done, and we'll be on to the next one. I gotta head down to Lumberton, North Carolina, pick up the next. Alright, so first things first, this piece is going to the port. So I just want to do a quick look at it. Well, that bucket's seen better days. Look at that, the bottom of it is all, yeah, that'll need plate welded on it or something. Oh, it all looks good. No leaks. Maybe some small ones. I'll clean that oil up before we deliver it. Let's see if she'll start. So this thing's a little bit bigger than I expected. It's actually 11 feet 2 inches across the tracks. So I think I'm gonna put some outrigger boards back here, and I think it's probably gonna be heavier too. So I think I'm gonna slide that back to the last cross member. So, but I'm gonna have to back it up to get the boards on there. So let's do that. So I don't think I've ever had to use my outriggers in one of my videos. So pretty much they're just steel. They just swing out and clip into place there, and then you put your boards in here, and it basically takes your trailer from being 8.5 feet wide to 10.5 feet wide, and that way your tracks aren't hanging, a lot of the weight isn't hanging off of the edge here. You see the middle of that track is where all the weight is. You have the drive wheels and all of that, so that's right on the edge. So you put this track on there, that kind of gets some of the weight more balanced on there. So that's all I'm doing. All right, guys, I think we got it. Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, I think that'll do it. So I had the boards up to here, but I guess it's 6 on one, half dozen on the other. I'm gonna call that good. So now we'll get the truck hooked up. Hopefully the weight is far enough back. I got it as far back as I could. Virginia gives you 44,000 on a tandem on the truck axles. So I just wanted to get all the weight as far back as I could, because I think this thing's like 62,000 pounds. So I wanted to get that as far back as I could to get the weight on the Tridem. So I think I did it. I'm gonna back up, get this thing picked up, and see where our weight is. Okay, now let's put some air to the trailer, and we'll air up the truck suspension. See where we're at here. All right, guys, sorry about that. My battery died in my camera. I didn't realize. But we got this big old thing loaded up. So 11.2 wide. I am really hoping that we're not over on our Tridem. The heaviest weight we have on the Tridem is at 68 psi, and it's like 52,500 pounds. That is showing 71. In Virginia, you were allowed 44,000 on your tandem and 55 on your Tridem. So we're real close. So that's what we're permitting for. Hopefully we're not over and we don't get stopped on the way out. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I think I'm actually gonna put my deck height up another notch. But yeah, we got it loaded up and we're ready to roll. I'm gonna hit a scale and see what we actually weigh before I fuel, and that way we can decide how much fuel we want to put in it if we're real close. So, but yeah, let's hit the road. Hey, good morning. It is Thursday morning. We're here in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Just got up, starting to get going for the day. Stayed at the Quality Inn last night. We are headed up to Baltimore this morning, and then from Baltimore I will end my week and go home. So enjoy the ride this morning, and let's get moving. All right, so we are stopped here in Carson, Virginia. I gotta go over this thing and make sure we have all the dirt knocked off of it. I don't know if you guys have ever taken anything to the port. This is pretty clean, but you can take stuff to the port and they get real picky about dirt and about hydraulic fluid if it's seeping a little bit from a seal. So I'm just gonna go over this thing, just get it all the dirt knocked off of it so it looks real clean on just a visual inspection, and that way we have no problems when we take it to the port. So let's go ahead and get that done. So I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure a cotter pin is not what's supposed to hold that in. So you can see all the dirt I've knocked off of that, but yeah, that I don't think is the preferred method of holding an excavator's track on. So now we'll work on this side. My gosh, this is a bit more work than I thought. Somebody should have done a more thorough job with the pressure washer, but ultimately it's me that's going to get turned away from the port. So I'm just going to take my time and get this done. That way we have no problems at delivery. All right. So I gotta be honest with you guys, if I would have known how gross this thing was, or if I had realized how much mud was packed into the tracks of this thing, it probably wouldn't be on my trailer right now. You can see there's just dirt everywhere that I had to dig out from inside these tracks. So I got it as good as I'm gonna get it, but it was caked all in there, all in the tracks, all over this thing. And then everything I dug out wound up underneath the excavator, so I ended up crawling around under the trailer and digging all that dirt out and getting rid of it. There was probably 200 pounds worth of dirt on this excavator. I wiped down a little bit up here. There's not big leaks on it, but it is like seeping, so you can see there's oil. Hopefully that's not a problem. But I did as much as I'm gonna do on this thing. I scraped my arm up. I'm filthy dirty, so I'm gonna try to get cleaned up with some tough towels and change clothes, and then we'll be back on our way. but that was way too much work for what I'm getting paid for this load. That's just ridiculous. But it is clean now, and hopefully there's no problem at the port. So, all right, let's get back on the road. All right, guys. Got that all cleaned off. Man, what a dirty job that was. So I ended up changing clothes because I was just soaked in sweat, covered in mud. So yeah, there's probably 200 pounds worth of just hardened mud inside the tracks on that thing. They didn't bother cleaning out. It looked like they had pressure washed the thing, but didn't bother with knocking the mud out from inside the tracks. And I know the port is just going to, you know, they can be real picky about cleanliness of equipment. It doesn't have to be like brand new showroom clean, but it can't have mud all over it, or, you know, loose dirt, whatever. And that thing was just, it just had dirt everywhere. So we got it cleaned, and then I wiped down some of the hydraulic fluid on the back. It's not really leaking, it's just kind of seeping from the seals. So I wiped that down. Hopefully that's good enough. Every time I take one of these loads going to the port, I think to myself, why do I do this to myself? You know, they're always such a hassle. Luckily, this one is going to the south side of Baltimore, south side of the tunnel in Baltimore. I think it's Tartan Terminals. So they seem to be a little more relaxed than over on the other side of Dundalk. Dundalk, if any equipment haulers out there, if you've ever taken anything into the port, into like Shed 12, they can be real picky. And they'll turn you away and tell you it has to be washed. Well, then you're sitting in there with an oversized load that needs a permit to move, and they're telling you you have to go to truck wash. It's just the best. So hopefully I have done enough to avoid that. I think I have. I think it's clean enough. But we will find out when we get up to the port and go unload this thing. Anyway, that was Carson, Virginia, at the rest area. I have a little trash can that I keep in the truck, because when you knock all that dirt off from the inside of the tracks, it just falls on the deck of the trailer underneath the excavator. So I ended up taking my trash can and actually crawling under there and scooping all the dirt into the trash can and then throwing it into the woods there beside the road. It just took time and an effort, but we got it pretty clean. 95 here, we got to go around Richmond and then up through DC. I think by the time we get to DC, traffic shouldn't be that big of a deal. DC's always kind of a pain in the ass, but you know, before rush hour it'll be, gosh, probably right around 11:30 or noon when we go through DC. So I'm not anticipating it being that bad. But we got a weigh station coming up here, so I'm gonna get off the camera so I can pull my permit, have it ready. So yeah, you guys just enjoy the ride, and hopefully no more hang-ups on this one.
Morning, driver. Do you have your Virginia hauling permit for your load, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you please tell me what your permit allows for your tandem weight, triaxle weight, and gross weight, please, for your load, according to what's on the permit?
Yep, tandem axle is 44,000.
Okay, triaxle weight?
54,999.
You said 54.5?
54,999.
54,999. And gross weight?
113,000.
102?
113.
I'm sorry. Between the road noise and your engine, it's hard for me to hear you.
Yeah, I got
Can you yell into that speaker? Just give me the gross weight.
113.
113.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do me a favor. Go ahead and pull up for me, please, so I can weigh your triaxles and get a gross weight.
Sure.
But before you pull out, can you take your permit and hold it up to the camera, please, to your left? Do you have a hard copy of
It's just on my phone.
Okay. Alright, go ahead, pull up for me, please. Okay, stop there for just a moment. Okay, and one more time, please. Just give me the gross weight one more time.
113.
113, okay. You're 110.9, okay? Just so you know.
Okay.
110,900 on the gross.
All right.
Okay, thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Thank you. Well, we must be all right. He said we're 110,900 gross. So we're permitted for 113, but I know our tandems had to be real close to 44. So, but passed us through, so we're good. All right, so we're here at the port. I don't know where they want me to detach or anything. They said they'd send somebody back. So in the meantime, I'm gonna get my flags and banners off, and probably the chain off the boom, and maybe the chains off the sides, and then we'll see where they want it. All right, let's make sure this thing starts first off. There we go. I love it when older equipment starts first try. It just makes it easy. So let's get her unchained, and I can get it unloaded here. She is smoky, that's for sure. But that is not my problem. That's a problem for the guy that bought it. So let's get hooked back up. Let's get hooked back up, and then hopefully they'll be back out to tell me where they want it. They still have to bring me my paperwork, but we can get this all hooked up and cleaned up in the meantime. Guys, we got the trailer all cleaned up, back to 8.6 wide. I am just waiting for them to bring my paperwork out and to tell me where to park that thing, and then we will be headed home for the week. So hopefully they show up soon and we can get it parked, and then we'll be headed north from Baltimore back up to Carlisle. All right, so got paperwork done, parked that big old cat. I think I'm gonna give you guys a new camera angle. I'm gonna put you guys back here on the trailer and let you ride back here. See you at home. Hey guys, so I decided to do a video a little different this week. I'm gonna just put the whole week in one video, so we'll see how that goes with editing and everything. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this style where I do the whole week and it's kind of like you know, a week in the life of a heavy haul trucker, let me know. Give me a thumbs up, comment, say you like that, or if you want me to go back to doing one load at a time and kind of including more detail in that, let me know that. But anyway, we made it back here to the lot. I am done for the week. It was a long 4 days. You know, the way freight is right now, we just kind of have to get out there and see what happens. So hopefully we will get back to how it used to be, where I was able to go out a day and then come back. But until then, we're just we're out on the road. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.